What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Outlet Show. I am your host, Joe Wagner, alongside here, Brent Allegra and Braden Wilkins.
I'm excited, boys. We made it. We're here. We're at NFL kickoff. Today is the day. It's like Christmas morning all over again. I can't wait to hear Chris Collinsworth's "Here's a Guy" for the first time tonight. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we are so
I'm
back.
absolutely pumped. Braden, how are we feeling? It's a big day for you here at the Sports Outlet Show, but for a different reason. Walk me through what today means to you.
Yeah, Eagles open up the season raising a banner for Super Bowl 59. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. They're not going to be out during the banner raising, but I'm very excited. Cowboys week is always a fun one, and it's always super close. So very excited for this rivalry match tonight.
I mean, it's massive, right? It's one of the best rivalries in sports. Sorry, Brent. It's Cowboys Eagles goes back a little while, but we all know why a lot of you are here to kick us off here tonight. You may have seen, first of all, we have an Instagram, so go and follow it at sports_outlet_show at the bottom of the screen there. But we'll be running a little bit of a promotion here today. Brent, you go ahead. I'll let you say the announcement.
Yeah, we're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. So if you follow what's on the screen right below you, if you like our video, if you comment, and if you subscribe, you will get a chance to be randomly selected for this $50 Amazon gift card. And hey, who doesn't love free money? Come on. Can I get an entry?
I was about to say, can I enter too? I'm in. Put me in. I'm ready to rock and roll. I think I should be able to answer. But anyways, make sure you live comment so we know you're here. We'll be running through this. We'll actually be doing it live on Instagram. So you need to make sure you follow the Instagram as well for a chance to get a $50 Amazon gift card. Absolutely pumped for this segment today, guys. We're going to be talking NFC all day here today, but we'll give you about 5 minutes to get those entries in for that Amazon gift card giveaway. We have some sad news to talk about first as well. Everybody's seen it all over social media the past couple weeks. It's near and dear to my heart. Our boy Scott Hansen in NFL Red Zone. No, it hasn't gone away, but what's the point? NFL Red Zone, death to commercial-free football. Braden, take me through the emotions of today.
Yeah, it's just devastating. You wake up Sunday, you prepare for kickoff, and you just wait to hear Scott Hansen say 7 hours of commercial-free football, and that's just no more. He will no longer be saying that. It's 7 hours of red zone football now, and it's just very sad to see. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, it stinks. They said originally that ESPN had nothing to do with it. I think that seems a little bit shady considering the timing. But I will say I'll play devil's advocate here. The good thing about it is we're not missing any of the actual coverage itself, but it's the precedent of it. We're paying for commercial-free football. We should get commercial-free football for 7 hours, and they're taking it away from us. So I think this is the starting point. I think it might get worse from here, but let's all hope and pray it doesn't.
I mean, we've seen a couple things of just jokes of banter a little bit about, the Saquon hurdle going to the Whopper commercial, as well as we all saw the Washington Commanders Hail Mary touchdown to beat the Bears last season as well, going to commercial. But I'm more concerned about, do I not get to see punts anymore because of this? What about the punts? I need some punts. All right.
I don't know how many punts they were showing on Red Zone before, unless there was a return touchdown. That was always a key to know if there was a big play. And if you saw a punt on your screen, it likely resulted in a fumble or a punt return touchdown, something like that. So we'll get to see the good punts for sure.
Can we get the punt zone? Can we get that live? I'm all for it.
Sure, why not?
Maybe we can start it.
I think we should be able to. That's personally my opinion.
It'll be commercial free.
There you go. That's the selling point.
Yep.
Let's just change our name from Sports Outlet Show to Punt Zone. I'm down.
Sounds good.
I'm completely down.
Amen.
And anyways, if you're still hanging out with us, $50 Amazon gift card giveaway. Like, comment, subscribe. We're kind here at the Sports Outlet Show. Should we let it go through the remainder of the podcast, gentlemen? What do you think?
I don't see why not.
Let's do it.
All right. You know what? Just because of that, we'll keep taking care of our people that have been here for the first 5 to 10 minutes. If you enter your name again, we'll let you count twice. There you go. We'll show some love to the people that are here. But we all know why you're not here, and it's for us to talk about football, but we're going to do that anyways because we are the Sports Outlet Show. Kicking it over with the NFC. Typically, you start in the East, right? But Braden, our marketing genius brain down there, we got to end with Eagles, Cowboys, and I completely agree. So, Braden, you get a raise from $0 to $0.
Let's go.
There you go. I'm happy to help you out here, but I'll be kicking us off here first. We're talking about the LA Rams kicking off the Sports Outlet Show NFC preview. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight. First of all, when you talk about the Rams, it's hard to not think about the 2021 Super Bowl victory over Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. It's hard to not think about winning a crazy version of the NFC West last season where the Seahawks were everywhere. The 49ers were disappointing, and the Cardinals in the mix there as well for a little bit. Just an interesting division all around, and the NFC was just a crazy conference going into last season, but we'll go ahead and talk about it. You can't mention the Rams without mentioning head coach Sean McVay. He's been the absolute staple of this team. He's been consistent, making the playoffs 6 of his first 8 years. He's had 2 Super Bowl appearances in that time, as well as winning it in 2021. Another guy you think about when you're talking about this team is obviously the departure of Cooper Kupp, one of the longest tenured Rams to be a part of the team since Andrew Whitworth. Obviously, he went into retirement, and now Cooper Kupp has moved on to Seattle. Puka Nacua needs to show up in a major way this season. He's one of my guys to watch. Last year, it kind of faltered a little bit with just 79 receptions, did not eclipse the 1,000-yard mark, and 3 touchdowns as well. You go back to 1 year before that, his rookie year, absolute monster with 105 catches, 1,486 on the receiving end as well, and 6 touchdowns to his name. He needs to show up a monster season like that. If he can't, enter Kyron Williams to help him out a little bit. Another guy to watch who is obviously 2 guys I just named that are going in your first 2 rounds of fantasy football drafts. And if you have not drafted your fantasy football league yet, honestly, props to you for getting everybody to pay attention this late into the season. Before we even kick off, but he was an absolute stud last year. Kyron Williams was 316 carries, 1,300 yards almost, just missing that notch by 1. And then 14 times you saw him in the back of the end zone. He's electric, exactly what they needed since leaving the Todd Gurley era. He's been a really good fix for Sean McVay and company. My guy to watch, and I want to talk about Devontae Adams a little bit as my guy to watch with the coming in as the transfer, talking like it's college football, but we'll say that. Only playing 14 games last season, obviously 3 with Vegas and 11 teaming back up with Aaron Rodgers at the Jets. But people are kind of sleeping on Devontae Adams, and I'm kind of curious why. He had Aiden O'Connell and Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to him last year. He still put up 85 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 8 touchdowns, and people are saying this guy's washed. Completely understand that he's known to be one of the best in the business when it comes to being a wide receiver. Still over 1,000 yards, putting up Mike Evans numbers. I've just been impressed. 2019 was the last time Devontae Adams did not have an 1,000-yard season. So definitely top guy coming in to watch for the Rams. To be right beside him and Puka, that could be a problem for NFL corners. Their over-under by BetMGM is set at 9.5. Their playoff odds via DraftKings are minus 160. I like this team. I think their floor sets at 7-10. Their ceiling at 12-5. If you have Sean McVay, consistency is key. You're always in the mix. I have them going 10-7. I think they get a wild card spot, but I think they have some problems winning the division because the NFC West is a tough one.
Yeah, it is. And the thing I'm most concerned about with the Rams is Matthew Stafford's health. The back was a serious concern for him this year during training camp. And if that thing flares up in the middle of the season, it's going to be rough to switch to Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't see how he carries them over the top. You mentioned it. The division is pretty rough, and the conference got a lot better too with the trading of, obviously Micah Parsons was already on the Cowboys, but he goes to a more relevant team in the Packers. I think that makes it a little bit tougher for the Rams.
Yeah, I completely agree. And making it tough on the Rams is a team that really just settled last season, had an injury bug problem. Brent, kick it over and tell me about a team that's going to be unique this upcoming season with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers, they did not plan on going 6-11 last year, but injuries crushed them like a bug. Christian McCaffrey battled Achilles tendonitis. Debo and Ayuk both went down, and the offense just couldn't hum like we're used to. Truly a brutal follow-up to a Super Bowl run the year before. Kyle Shanahan is back for year 9, one of the league's best offensive minds, and my player to watch is CMC. I'll be honest, Achilles tendonitis, it gives me late career Todd Gurley vibes, but he's going to be leaned on heavily early with the running back and wide receiver rooms banged up like they are. We'll know right away if he's truly healthy. And with the injuries, with Ayuk sidelined long-term and Jawan Jennings still battling his way back from a calf, he did get a little bit of a contract. I wouldn't call it an extension. He got some incentives added to his deal today. I think it was $3 million worth of incentives based on playing time. Those kind of things tend to heal themselves with a little bit more money. So I think he'll be back from that calf strain. But I'm interested in seeing second-year wideout Ricky Pearsall. I think he has a chance to step in as that wide receiver 1, and I'm really curious to see what he can do with that opportunity. Since he was shot last year, that took him out of some games, and hey, the Niners even traded for the best running back that was shot, Brian Robinson. So I gotta thank Chris for that reference. The best running back that was shot, Brian Robinson there. Now what I'm concerned about, with the 49ers is the departures list. It's rough. Debo, Jordan Mason, Javon Hargrave, Leonard Floyd, Charvarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga. This roster is going to look very different, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But here's the good news. They have the easiest strength of schedule in the entire NFL. Saints, Cardinals twice, Jags, Giants, Panthers, Browns, Titans. Not exactly a murderer's row there. So even with a weaker roster, I've got San Francisco bouncing back to 11-6 thanks to CMC's return and that cupcake schedule. So I'm going 11-6.
The 49ers just felt like a team last year that was so unique and weird with just every injury bug in the book. Obviously, losing CMC is a huge part of that, but it was just weird last season. I don't know what was in the water in San Francisco. Just really curious to see what they do this year, Brent. I think you hit the nail on the head with everything about this roster is if they're firing and clicking on all cylinders, I mean, besides Debo Samuel, their whole roster is still returning with offensive firepower. So intrigued to see what happens for sure. Another team that really just, I mean, we could talk all day about any team in here with the NFC West, but a team that was in the race coming into late last year has a pretty unique schedule to start the season. Braden, tell me about the Birds.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrong Birds. But the Cardinals were hovering around 500.
No.
They were hovering around 500 all year last year. They ended up finishing just below it at 8-9. Guys, the last time they won the West was back in 2015, and the last time they won the AFC was back in 2008. That's when they lost the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Head coach Jonathan Gannon is going into his 3rd season. He's 12-22 so far. And I think after the season, he might be in the hot seat. He's got to get some wins going, especially with the division this wide open this season if he wants to keep his job as a head coach. My player to watch going into this season is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. The wide receiver is going into his second season. Last year, he was kind of overshadowed by the LSU boys, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., but he had a pretty solid rookie season himself. He had 62 catches for 885 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think it's also going to be a year to watch for Kyler Murray. He's going into year 7 with only one playoff appearance to his name. So the Kyler Murray experiment could be coming to an end in Arizona if he doesn't perform this year. They did add some guys to help him out. They got Will Johnson in the draft from Michigan, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell. Those are all guys on the defensive side of the ball, as well as Josh Sweat, former Philadelphia Eagle. He is familiar with the Gannon system. He was on that Super Bowl team in 2022 when they lost versus the Chiefs. Last year, he had 41 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, and 2 pass breakups. It was his first season as a real off-ball linebacker. He can play on the line and as a linebacker, so he should be a huge pickup for the Cardinals there. Their over-under is set at 8.5 with a plus 115 chance of making the playoffs. This team could go either way for me. I have their floor at 3-14 if they continue to struggle like they did, and their ceiling at 12-5. So there's a wide array of actions going on here for the Cardinals, and it's going to start pretty easy for them. They have a very light schedule to start the year. They're at New Orleans versus Carolina, at San Francisco versus Seattle versus Tennessee, at Indianapolis, and versus Green Bay. And then they have their bye. So they could easily be 5-2, 6-1, even 7-0 if they can beat the Packers there to start the season. I have them going 9-8 this year and possibly just missing out on that wild card spot.
Yeah, if I could give one piece of advice for our listeners out there who, like Joe said, maybe haven't had their fantasy draft yet, although I'm thinking we're running out of time here on that at this point. I would say draft the Cardinals defense for week 1. They're playing the Saints. I think they'll force a lot of turnovers week 1, even if they don't have the greatest defense. I'm just not a huge believer in the Saints over there. So.
Hey, all I know is you better drop him for week 2 because Bryce Young, the Carolina Reaper, he's ready.
So even more reason to draft him. You get 2 good weeks.
All right. This is fighting. I'm not accepting this. I'm not allowing this. We can talk all day about how horrible the team is, but I have a segment to talk about that. That's why we specifically set it aside. So that's all I have to say about that at the moment. So you've probably been noticing that we're using different colors to talk about different teams. Really intrigued how this one's going to pop up because I went back to you guys remember playing Madden, the Color Rush uniforms. Well, when you think about the Seattle Seahawks, what do you think about?
That highlighter green.
The highlighter green.
Love it.
It's beautiful. It looks nice. That was always, besides Carolina Blue, my favorite one to use. And you'd have the Carolina Blue on one side, you'd have the neon green on the other, and it was cooked. It was cooked. But anyways, talking about the Seattle Seahawks, a team that went 10-7 last season, beat the Rams in the final week of the season, but still did not make the playoffs because of 1,800,000 tiebreakers. I'm not going to break them down for you. I'm sorry, Seattle. Been a really long time, I feel like. Didn't look this up, just assuming that a 10-win team has not made the playoffs. Definitely intriguing for a 10-7 team to not get there. But let's talk about Seattle. Obviously, Pete Carroll is teaching classes and coaching football teams now. Mike McDonald is the guy at the helm for Seattle. He was the 2022-23 Ravens defensive coordinators where he came from. My key guy to watch, guys, obviously Tyler Lockett's gone. DK Metcalf is gone. There's the one baby Ohio State wide receiver left. Jackson Smith and Jigba is the guy to watch this upcoming season for Seattle, and he's going to need to absolutely help this roster in any way possible. He's my guy to watch. Last season, he eclipsed 100 receptions, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. He needs to be the all-around dynamic player. He's also going to need some help, right? The wide receiver room in Seattle is struggling a little bit more than it typically has in the past years. Tyler Lockett, Doug Baldwin, we could go down many, many realms of Seattle Seahawks. 2 guys that need to help him, they got to stay healthy. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. They need to help out on the run game. Everybody thinks of Zach Charbonnet as the third down guy. He actually had less receptions than Kenneth Walker last year, despite Walker playing 5 less games. So really unique. Brent, you gave a stat earlier off podcast that it was about 50-50 between Charbonnet and Walker playing at the running back position. Fantasy owners, I fear that's going to be the case, especially with Zach getting a ton of third down carries and third down receptions. Walker, before getting injured, had 153 carries, 573 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the ground, the Michigan State alum. And Zach himself had 135 carries, 569 yards, and 8 touchdowns. When you talk about a split, that's about as split as it gets when you're talking about a running back depth. Kicking it over one more, 2 guys that I want to talk about incoming. Mentioned the name Cooper Kupp already. Obviously, I'm going to mention him as a Seattle Seahawk. Played in 12 games last year for the Rams with 67 catches and 710 yards with 6 touchdowns to his name. Interesting fact for you guys. Cooper Kupp has not played all 17 games since 2021 when the Rams won the Super Bowl. The kid's got to stay healthy. I guess he's not a kid anymore. He's a 30-year-old Eastern Michigan alum, but still. That year, he went for 145 receptions, 1,900 yards, and 16 tutties to the house.
Triple Crown.
Triple Crown winner. Took it right out of my mouth. The guy coming to help at quarterback is none other than the Minneapolis savior himself, Sam Darnold. Playing for who knows what team at this 4th, 5th, 6th, 20th. The Sam Darnold USC Trojan. Last year, let's talk about some career highs. 545 pass attempts, career high. 4,319 yards passing, career high. 35 pass touchdowns, career high. All while 48 times sacked, career high. Now, I understand he probably hasn't played all year, every year, but it's the Seattle Seahawks. Let's see what they have in store for this season. BetMGM has their over-under set at 8.5. My floor for them is at 7-10. Their ceiling at 12-5. I'm curious to see what this team has. I personally think Sam Darnold's year last year was an absolute fluke. It's a little easier to do that with the Vikings offense as well, but we'll see what Darnold and company have in store. He's got some weapons surrounding him at wide receiver and running back. I have the Seahawks going at 9-8. So that means we have 9-8, 9-8, 11-6, and 10-7. Wow. Just wow.
Kind of crazy.
I don't know what to tell people in the NFC West if they should be fearful. Braden, how many bird teams are in the NFC?
In the NFC? 4,
Yeah.
I think.
Cardinals, Seahawks, Falcons, Eagles,
and then the Ravens.
Notice who we said last.
Fair enough.
Put some respect.
They're the
on
least.
their name.
They're the least relevant team. So
true. So true.
Brent, tell me about Kirk O'James.
yeah,
Although you might not tell me about him actually.
I might a little bit. As you mentioned, the Falcons, they finished 8-9 last year after a quick flash of Kirk Cousins' magic before he flamed out and made way for rookie Michael Penix. And somehow Kirk is still on the roster as the backup. I think I can name at least 3 teams right now, Saints, Colts, Browns, maybe even the Jets, that would love to have him starting. I get it. The Achilles comeback was rocky, but I still think he's got juice left in the tank. Those Achilles injuries, they usually take a year or 2 to come back from. And I do think when one of these quarterbacks inevitably gets hurt during the season, maybe even on a contender, I do think he will be traded. That's my prediction. I think he gets traded to a quarterback needy team once the season kicks off. My player to watch for this team, with that being said, is Michael Penix, because this offense is going to rise or fall with him. I know that's a chalk thing to say, that the quarterback's going to rise or fall with the team. But he's got Bijan Robinson, one of the best running backs in the league, Drake London, a true wide receiver 1, and dare I say it, Kyle Pitts? Question mark.
Nope.
Pitts?
Our viewer count just went down 50%.
But for real, can the man finally break out? Because so far his career has been more disappearing act than magic show. That's how I consider it. Now about the draft. The Falcons get a little weird in the draft. Last year's shocker was taking Penix. This year they doubled down on the weirdness, grabbing Jalen Walker, and then trading a future first plus a current second to move back up for James Pierce. And this was like pretty late in the first round too. That's a lot of draft capital for a guy I don't even think is that great of an edge rusher. I'll be honest with you. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but the value felt very questionable to me. And I don't know what the Falcons are doing in these drafts, but I'm excited for next year because they always make it entertaining. Vegas, they set the win total at 7.5 for the Falcons. I'm going to go under. I've got them at 7-10. Despite how I felt about Michael Penix in college, obviously you guys knew I was a huge Washington stan while he was there.
Yep.
I'm just not sold on him in the NFL yet. He hasn't proven it to me, and some of these roster decisions just make me scratch my head. So I'm not big on the Falcons this year.
I hope that they don't play well for personal reasons. For the sports outlet show reason, I hope that everybody has fun.
I'm sure you do. Sure you do, Joe.
Hey, man. I have the Saints in my division. I have to look out, okay?
That's
I've got to look out. Well, I guess so. We're sitting here at 27 minutes on the podcast, right? Get ready for this to take to 57. Braden, you're not making your game. I'm just kidding. We'll get you out in time. Just kidding. Carolina Panthers 5-12 last season, right? Everybody is acting like Bryce Young won the Super Bowl. Let's talk about it a little bit. Dave Canales going into his second year. If you don't know everything about Dave Canales, here's what you need to know. Responsible for the resurgence of Geno Smith in Seattle. Responsible for the absolute career save of Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. Bryce Young in Carolina. They say good things come in 3. Not bad. Good. Good things. We're going with good things this time. Talking about the Carolina Panthers, they haven't won the division since 2015. It's the same year they went to the Super Bowl, same year they won the conference championship, and just destroyed Arizona in the conference championship. David says we're going 0-17. Might not be wrong. Going over to player to watch, I mean, it's easy to say of every team the quarterback is the player to watch, but in Carolina, it genuinely is. When you think about Bryce Young, this is the last year, right? It's the time to see it. It's the time everything needs to come together. Last year, he played in 14 games, but he was benched for 3 of them for Andy Dalton, 2,403 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. But I want to highlight, just like every NFL analyst in the world, the last 3 weeks against Arizona, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta. By the way, Arizona, Atlanta, 2 of the 3 teams Bryce Young will play in the first 3 weeks. 612 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, and not a single pick. That makes me, as a Panthers fan, excited. But I also understand it was against Arizona, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay. No disrespect to Tampa. 2 guys I also want to point out before we talk about a slew of people is Derek Brown and J.C. Horn. They are the leaders at defense. That's it. There's not much else. Derek Brown played in 1 game before having a season-ending injury last season. In 2023, though, 103 tackles, 2 sacks, and a pick, a big man pick. Go watch the video. It's lit. Then we go talk about J.C. Horn, right? The star corner that just got paid so much money that it was a bit of a head scratcher, but Carolina had to do it. It's like the Pirates trying to go get Paul Skeens, right? By the way, Paul Skeens Day is today. Just needed everybody to know that. This is him going into his 5th season in which he's played 3 games, 13 games, 6 games, and 15 games. I need 17. I need 17 out of J.C. Horn. He's our vocal leader on defense. He's one of the only guys that doesn't get burnt in the secondary every single Sunday. Last season, he played his career high with 15. He had 68 tackles, 2 sacks, a pick, and 13 pass deflections, which, as Braden would say, is nothing to sneeze at. He needs to play all 17 games. Then you look back at it more. It was 530-something points. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I don't want to remember it off the top of my head. The Carolina Panthers defense gave up the most points in NFL history last season. Not franchise, NFL history. So they go out and they revamp. They go get A'Shaun Robinson, New York Giants legend. They go get Bobby Brown III, LA Rams. They go get linebacker Patrick Jones. They go get linebacker Christian Roseboom. And they go get safety, probably their best signing on defense, Trayvon Moehrig, the safety from Vegas. If you look at our defense, it is completely different. I don't know if that's good, but we're playing like the transfer portal when we're the Northwestern Wildcats. That's all we got right now. One guy that can come in and save us, Arizona Wildcat legend, Ted McMillan. You see Adam Thielen got traded. We do have Hunter Renfrow and Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker, maybe, who's on injury status right now. Ted McMillan needs 100 catches and 1,400 yards for this team to be playoff eligible. That's it. We haven't had a guy that could go up and make a big play. I can't believe I'm saying this, since Kelvin Benjamin, right? The glory years.
Giant.
Giant. I'm optimistic at best. I understand Carolina. I understand being a Hokies fan. I understand being a Pirates fan, and the past few years being a Penguins fan. The Panthers have given me the most hope out of any of these teams in the last couple of years. Their over-under set at 6.5. I think that's fair. You look at our schedule. We open with Jacksonville. We play Arizona. We go to Arizona. We go to Jacksonville. We go to Arizona. Then we get Michael Penix and Atlanta at home. I don't think it's crazy to say those are 3 winnable games. Will it happen? Probably not. But we're going to learn very quick what this Panthers team has. My floor for them, this is probably the most drastic floor ceiling I have. My floor is at 4-13. My ceiling is at 9-8. If we can get 8, I'm happy. I think we do. I have the Panthers at 8-9, a little bit of a biased take, but I just like everything that we did this offseason. I don't think it's coming together quite yet, but, you know, you got to believe in the boys sometime. Let's get some non-biased takes from the group.
Joe, I think you covered it well. I don't have much to add, but I do have a question for you.
Okay.
I know you mentioned the wide receivers. I know you mentioned that Adam Thielen was traded. Jalen Coker, obviously, injured status to start the season. I didn't hear you mention Xavier Legette. Thoughts?
He was briefly mentioned in there, but
he was? Okay.
If you go back, he was part of the slew of people, but
I've heard hush on Xavier Legette this offseason, and it's kind of concerning me, considering he was a late college breakout. I don't know about him. And I know you guys took a gamble on him last year.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on him?
I'm not feeling great about it. I feel like the only time I've seen him in the news is because he has a horse and a Southern accent.
It is a great accent. I will give it.
It is a fantastic accent. Question of the day for you guys, real quick, and we'll go to the Saints. From Cade, I'm in a Survivor League for NFL. What team do I pick this week?
I have mine. I've had it for a while. It's the Broncos over the Titans, easily for me. Cam Ward, he's a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks don't usually fare well to start the season unless you're Jaden Daniels, which that was kind of an anomaly. And the Broncos have easily the best defense in the NFL. I'm going Broncos all day.
Joe, I'd like to hear yours before I reveal mine.
I mean, it's the thing that mentally scarred Brent for life last season, obviously dropping week 1 to the Patriots. But Joe Burrow and company is going to go out and destroy Cleveland. They have no idea what they're doing. Go to the AFC podcast. It's titled, What Are You Doing, Cleveland? Not actually titled that, but go watch my 5-minute segment on the Browns and you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I think the Bengals offense, their defense can give up 40 points. Joe Burrow will go score 50.
Yeah, and this team I already talked about today. I'm going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals, not really because of what the Cardinals are doing, but because of this next team that I'm about to discuss. I'm picking the Arizona Cardinals going up against the New Orleans Saints.
What a beautiful transition. This is our marketing guy.
The Saints went 5-12 last season. So they started the season 2-0 while scoring 45.5 points. After that, they only had one game with more than 27 points, and they lost 7 straight. They haven't won the division since 2020. That was Drew Brees last year. They haven't won the AFC since 2009 when they won the Super Bowl with Drew Brees. So they're missing the legendary quarterback quite a bit. Head coach Kellen Moore, the former Boise State quarterback, he's been an OC for the Cowboys, Chargers, and Eagles. And I feel like he's been in the coaching carousel discussion for years. Now he's finally getting a shot in New Orleans. And he's got a rough roster to work with here. It's his first season. The 3 stars, the bona fide stars of this franchise, Alvin Kamara, Demario Douglas, and Cameron Jordan, are all over 30. Demario Davis and Cameron Jordan are both 36 years old. My player to watch is going to be Chris Olave. He has shown flashes of greatness in his years in the NFL, but he has yet to play a full 17-game season. Injuries are keeping him from reaching a true alpha status as a wide receiver, and his rookie contract is running out. He needs to stay healthy and play 17 games this season to prove that he can be the face of this franchise with these aging guys likely on their way out soon. And he could be the guy that this team leans on during the rebuild. They brought in some guys to help. They shored up the safety position with Justin Reed and Julian Blackman. And they drafted the 3rd quarterback off the board was Tyler Shuck out of Louisville. Their first-round draft pick, Kelvin Banks Jr., is who I'm more excited about. He's out of Texas. He was the 9th overall pick, and he will be an important building block for this team for protecting the quarterback of the future, whether that's the current starter, Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shuck, or very likely someone else coming in the future. Vegas has this team listed at 4.5 wins for the season. I think that's pretty fair. I think this team could genuinely go 0-17. I have their ceiling at 7-10, and that's only because they have the 2nd easiest strength of schedule in the league, and I still think they're that bad. They're plus 950 to make the playoffs. I have them going 3-14, which very may well get them the 1st overall pick.
I don't think we need to add anything at all, Brent.
No, I didn't know they had the 2nd easiest strength of schedule though. That's an interesting fact. I don't think it's going to matter because they're the worst team. Yeah, how do you have the 2nd worst strength of schedule when you don't play yourself? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
That's why it's not first.
There you go, Joe. That's good.
Happy to help. Take me down to Raymond James.
The Buccaneers went 10-7 last year, made it 4 straight division titles, and Mike Evans casually hit 1,000 yards for the 11th season in a row. That's Hall of Fame status right there. At this point, it's like paying your electric bill. Automatic. Baker Mayfield, he also had the best season of his career. 71% completions, 4,500 yards, and 41 touchdowns. That's 13 more than his next best season. It was a crazy year for Baker. I hope he keeps it up. Obviously, Joe does too. Oklahoma guy. Sure. Yeah, he's got the jersey on. Sure, a lot of you in the chat as well. You Oklahoma fellas are hoping he has a good year. But Todd Bowles, he's entering year 4, and he's gone 8-9 in 2022, 9-8 in 2023, and 10-7 in 2024. So if you're into patterns, the chalk pick this year is 11-6. I'm just telling you guys that now. If you want to bet on the exact record, 11-6. But Chris Godwin, he probably misses the first part of the season. But I'm a big believer in Emeka Egbuka. He was my 2nd favorite receiver in the draft this year out of Ohio State. And with Baker's hot hand, I think he's going to shine early and stay in the mix even when Godwin is back. He was a huge target for me in fantasy drafts this year, although I couldn't grab him last night in our fantasy draft on this podcast. On the defensive side of the ball, they added Hassan Reddick. Obviously, remember just a couple seasons ago, he was one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. Last year, he held out with the Jets for a little bit before playing a few games. And honestly, I can't blame him. I wouldn't want to suit up for the Jets either. I'll be honest. But the bottom line is this. The Bucs are loaded across the board. Baker's confidence is sky high, and this looks like one of the NFC's most complete teams. Their roster is loaded from top to bottom, offense to defense. I've got them going 11-6. I made the chalk pick.
Nice.
And if things break right, I really think they're talented enough to make a real run at the NFC Championship. I truly believe that.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I might just do it.
Pulls up DraftKings on stream. Pulls up the. That's Brent. That's what you need to do. Just take 5 minutes to do it. Before we kick over to the NFC North, reminder: $50 Amazon gift card giveaway. Like, comment, subscribe to the Sports Outlet Show if you want. We don't pressure around here, but I think we all know what's about to come. Braden, what do you think? What do you think?
I think it's time to rank some things.
How do you know that, though? You're just
Pattern
guessing.
recognition.
Brent, any guess?
Football?
It's
We're
not
close.
football.
We're
It's not
an
football
hour
related.
away. We're an hour
We're
away.
now. Oh, sorry, I'm stalling. We need to go. We've got to go. Braden, I'm doing my best for you. It's your blind top 10. You always know it's coming. It's a fan favorite. This week, guys, I was thinking about what topic I wanted to do, right? For this week, we did tailgating food last week. I thought we'd mix it up with a little bit of alcohol, right? But we've done the beer thing before, and we're not going to do seltzers. What does that leave?
Whiskey?
It leaves cocktails.
Cocktails.
It leaves
Okay.
cocktails. So if you are under 21, we're not selling you anything, so you can hang out with us. Appreciate you showing up. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this up. Brent, Braden, talk amongst yourselves while I get this screen share up for us to rock and roll.
Yeah, obviously, just want to say that we do not condone underage drinking on this show. If you're drinking underage, shame on you. Shame on you. That's all I
Couldn't have
gotta
said
say.
it better myself.
Acting like a couple of guys that never did it. Get them, boys. Get them.
Don't sell me out here, Joe.
Hey, I didn't sell out anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, we got 10 cocktails here, right? Of course, using ChatGPT to pull up some. I threw in a couple fun twists, but we'll go ahead and get it rocking. Braden, Brent, who's going first for me today?
It's got to be Braden. I went first last time.
All right, let's rock and roll here, and we'll make sure to get over to the NFC North. For your Chicago Bears fans, they're up next. So make sure you're maybe grabbing a cocktail during the break and listening to it. What about being David?
David's getting ready for the weekend over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. Braden, at number 1, this cocktail, you can enjoy it frozen or on the rocks. Pina colada.
Pina colada. Okay, that's a great vacation beverage. You think summer vibes with it? Maybe not during the other seasons of the year. I think there's a lot of good things about sitting on the beach with the pina colada, frozen, just sitting there with no worries in the world. I think I'm gonna slide it in at 4 here to start us off.
Wow, good pick. Pina colada at number 4 to kick us off. Brent, you're here at number 2. Fan favorite, could go in the top 3. It's already been mentioned in the chat, actually. A good old fashioned.
Oh, man. Braden, we always get in the situation where we have a lot of things in the middle to start. I think, personally, old fashioned is my favorite cocktail. So I'm going to go number 1, old fashioned.
Boom.
I'm not mad about that at all. I have a 1A and 1B in my mind. That's 1A. So I'm very happy with that.
That would also be my number 1. Pick number 3, mostly known for at Sharkies. Shout out Blacksburg fans. Braden knows exactly what's coming. Braden, what is it?
It's a trash can.
I said
Oh,
Sharky's.
excuse me. That's a Long Island iced tea.
It is a Long Island iced tea.
That's gonna get you in trouble more often than not. It's a lot. It'll get you to where you need to go pretty quickly. I don't know how much I enjoy the taste of them. There's not much sweetness in there. I think I'm gonna go probably number 7 here for the LIT.
Spacing them out pretty good.
All I'm saying is we have a comment about Rumplemints, and there's not one in here. Should I make an adjustment?
Sure.
I'm just kidding. That's called straight up, and this is cocktails. Number 4, had to add some pink color into it. We have a Sex on the Beach.
Sex on the Beach. Was that the one that was Kelby's favorite ever at the wedding?
It sure
Yes.
was.
Yes. I thought she liked that. Let's see. I'm not a huge fan of the fruitier stuff myself, but I recognize people that do really like it. I think I'm gonna go number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
All right. Braden, number 5. Personally, not my favorite at all. Would never drink it, but it is a top 3 classic, the gin and tonic.
Yeah. Also, not my personal favorite. Maybe I'll grow to like it over the years, but it's never gonna be my top choice here. I'm not a huge fan of gin in general, so it is a classic though. I think it might just be number 10 for me.
I agree with that, Braden. I'm not a huge gin guy myself.
And I also just don't like tonic water.
Yeah. It's just the blandest of drinks.
It's a healthy option.
It is.
It's true. It's true. Or tequila water. Learned that one in Oklahoma. At number 6, the espresso martini.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Especially like starting a morning off. Maybe do a espresso martini. Don't know if you have it on the list. Maybe a mimosa coming up down the line. Who knows? But I'm going to go number 3 for espresso martini.
Love it. That's exactly where I would have gone.
It's a great pick. Your next one at number 7 is a good old-fashioned El Rodeo margarita.
Brent, when I said earlier 1A, 1B, this is what
go.
I was thinking of. Margarita's got to go at number 2.
Love it.
It's a classic. You can't go wrong.
I am incredibly proud of how this might be your best list yet, but we're not
done.
You're pretty safe, right? You got 5 and 6 safe options, but this 9 could kill you. This 9 could kill you. At number 8, one I haven't had too often, but is a good time for a twist, is a Moscow Mule.
Oh, I love a good Moscow Mule. That's my older brother's favorite drink. It's his beverage of choice.
It's a good one.
I love it as well. I think I'm going to go number 5.
I personally have never had a Moscow Mule. I think it's on my list of drinks to try. I definitely need to have it at some point.
Braden, we're having one this weekend.
Alrighty, sounds like a plan.
At number 9, and this is where this hurts the personal Joe Wagner. This is where this one hurts. At 6 or at 9, you have the rum and coke.
The rum and coke. Okay. I'm trying to think what else we could have here.
What rum?
Captain Morgan.
Oh, no. Okay.
He didn't ask me what gin. What the heck?
Gin just sucks in general.
Okay. Rum and coke. I've consumed many of them in my life. I'm scared about what you got, though. Let's go number 6.
All right. As you guys know, you've locked in a number 9 pick. Obviously, suspense.
Oh, no.
I'm scared.
At number 9, to close out your list, Brent mentioned it earlier to pair with an espresso martini.
Oh no!
It is the mimosa.
Oh no!
That's okay. I think we had one falter, and it's the mimosa. I would have put that a little bit higher, probably somewhere near the middle. But
Agreed.
other than that, I really think this list is pretty solid.
It's very solid. I like our top 5 for sure.
I will fully admit I was shocked that Pina Colada went that high when I made this list.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I think if I took this list, I would literally switch 4 and 6, and I think it's perfect.
Cool.
I am a fan of rum and Coke. You guys know that. Big fan. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us on the blind top 10 cocktails. It seems to be the fan favorite. But you know what needs to happen now, Braden? We have a game that we got to get to.
We do.
So let's keep this thing rolling. I know specifically at least one person here is ready to hear about – wait, what is it? Dub Bears. It's Dub Bears. So obviously big trade partners with the Carolina Panthers a couple years, right? The Chicago Bears. I looked into this team and I did it diligently because I think, in my opinion, they're one of the most unique NFL teams coming into this season. They were 5-12 last year, but I feel like the roster didn't show that record. People can say Caleb Williams faltered. People can blame it on the offensive line. People can blame it on the defense and showboating when giving up a Hail Mary. You can blame a lot of different people. You can blame Matt Eberflus. But now you have Ben Johnson, the dynamic offensive-minded offensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions, coming in to save the day. When I think about the Bears, they haven't won a conference championship since 2006. They've last won the NFC North in 2018. Ben Johnson going into his first season, I think you talk about everything when you put the Bears in front. We could talk about Caleb Williams. We could talk about DeAndre Swift. We could talk about DJ Moore all day, right? I'm going to hint on 2 new guys and then 5 other guys. And Brent, you'll love this. The 5 other guys I'm talking about is we're going to break down the offensive line. All 5 guys in the trenches protecting Caleb Williams. At left tackle, Braxton Jones, been with the Bears since 2022, drafted in the 5th round out of Southern Utah. He's your left tackle guy protecting the blind side. At left guard, Joe Thuney, 2021 to 2025 Kansas City Chief, has won more Super Bowls than he knows what to do with it. Under center, Drew Dalman, the 2021 to 25 Falcon. At right guard, Jonah Jackson, 24-25 Los Angeles Ram. And at right tackle, debatably the best player on the team, Darnell Wright, the first-round pick in 2023 out of the University of Tennessee. When you talk about your superstar quarterback wanting to turn Caleb Williams into a superstar, they addressed the offensive line exactly how they needed to. Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times last season. 68 times. I don't care if you're Josh Allen. You're going to put up similar numbers. 2 guys coming in to help relieve. Obviously, we shipped out Keenan Allen, right? When it comes to the Bears, I love the Luther Burden pick. 61 receptions, 676 yards, and 6 touchdowns in a down year with the Tigers of Missouri last season. But what I love even more, Michigan tight end Colston Loveland. 56 receptions, 582 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the year with Michigan. Obviously, a ton of guys who have been in big games. Joe Thuney has won 3 Super Bowls. Colston Loveland has won a national championship. Ben Johnson has been at the biggest stage that you could be in besides the Super Bowl. They made the right hire. They fixed the O-line. The weapons that Caleb Williams has, some of the best in the league when you break it down, wide receivers, running back, tight end in a mixture. There is nowhere for him to hide this season. Caleb Williams needs to show that he's the number 1 overall pick, and I think he makes a stride to it this year. I have the Bears getting 3 more wins at 8-9. They play in the hardest division in football. 8 wins is more generous than 10 in the AFC South, right? It's more generous than maybe 11 in the NFC South. I think the Bears did everything right this offseason. Personally, Caleb Williams, it's time to show up and show out. Welcome to the Bryce Young treatment. It's 1-1. I'm intrigued to see what they can do this season.
Yeah, I'm glad you highlighted the offensive line because I feel like where, the Texans faltered, shipping off Laramie Tunsil, I feel like the Bears made all the right moves in regards to offensive line because offense, I think people underestimate how important an offensive line is to offensive success. You are not going to have a good offense if you have a terrible offensive line. And bringing in Jonah Jackson, bringing in Joe Thuney, I think that's huge, especially for, as you said, having as many sacks as Caleb Williams had last year. Granted, some of those were on himself. He ran backwards a few times. You can't do that in the NFL. But I think the offensive line pieces that they have will lead to more success, especially bringing in a great offensive mind like Ben Johnson.
I agree. I'm excited. Obviously, when you break it down with all the teams in this division, they're sitting at 4th in every analyst preview. But if you go 8-9 and you're taking strides, I'm intrigued. This is Braden. This is a very interesting team to talk about the Go Pack Go.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Last year, the Packers, you see it right there, went 11-6. They lost in the wild card matchup versus the Eagles 22-10, losing to the eventual Super Bowl champions. You can't be upset about that. The last time they won the division was in 2021. Last time they won the AFC was back in 2010. Matt LaFleur, their head coach, one of the premier head coaches in the league. It's his 7th season. He's gone 67-33 with the Packers. He's made the playoffs in each season as a head coach except for 2022. Guys, last season was their first season without playing potential Hall of Fame tackle David Bakhtiari. That's okay because Zach Tom has arrived. He's the right tackle. He was graded as the 4th best tackle in the league, according to PFF. He was 3rd in all-pro voting among right tackles behind Lane Johnson and Penei Sewell. That's some great company to be in. He played himself into a 4-year, $88 million extension this offseason. Matt LaFleur praised him for his versatility. He said he could play anywhere on that offensive line. Guys, they also have some other stars in Xavier McKinney. He was absolutely baller last year, and he will continue to be one. Zach Tom is going to be protecting Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs. They got some good wide receivers, including a drafted wide receiver. They drafted him in the first round for the first time since 2002. That's Matthew Golden out of Texas. He is looking to be their wide receiver 1, perhaps competing with Jaden Reed. In the offseason, they signed left guard Aaron Banks and cornerback Nate Hobbs, both to 4-year deals. And that's it. That's all I got to say about their additions. That's what I would have said 7.5 days ago before they traded 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark to the Dallas Cowboys for Micah Parsons. 4 years, $188 million. He's the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, and he's out of the NFC East. Thank goodness. Guys, Micah Parsons is one of, if not the best defensive player in the league. In 4 seasons with the Cowboys, he had 256 tackles, 63 tackles for loss, 112 quarterback hits, 52.5 sacks, and 9 forced fumbles. This is a huge, huge pickup. The Packers are in win-now mode. It feels like the past couple years, even during the Rodgers era, they were just 1 or 2 pieces away from being a Super Bowl contender, and Micah Parsons is a hell of a piece to help them compete. Their over-under is set at 10.5. I'm not sure how much that has adjusted since the addition of Micah Parsons. I have their floor at 7-10 only because they're in a tough schedule. Joe mentioned this is the best division in football. They also take on the AFC North, another really solid division, and the NFC East. So that's the Eagles, the Commanders, and the Ravens they have to take on as well. I have their ceiling at 14-3. They're minus 220 to make the playoffs. I have them going 12-5. And if they are not having a deep, deep playoff push this season, I think it'll be a disappointment.
Get out of my division, Micah Parsons.
He's gone.
Let's go. Let's go.
Panther. Oh,
I'll take that too, honestly, as long as he's not on the Cowboys, Eagles, or Commanders.
What about the Detroit Lions?
I'll take that too.
Fair enough.
That's actually a good segue. That's my team. That's my team. The Lions, they were absolute monsters last year. You see it on your screen there. They went 15-2 in the regular season and looked like the NFC's team to beat until they got shocked by the Commanders in the divisional round as 9.5-point favorites.
At home.
Ouch. That one still stings in Detroit. You could feel the heartbreak through the TV. This offseason, they lost both coordinators, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. But the good news is Dan Campbell is still roaming the sidelines. Since taking over 4 seasons ago, Campbell's gone 39-28-1 and dragged the Lions out of irrelevancy into being one of the NFL's most consistent threats. That is something Lions fans have been dreaming of for decades. Seriously. Grit, coffee, kneecap biting, it's all still there for Dan Campbell. The biggest storyline this year, Aiden Hutchinson is back. He was on a Defensive Player of the Year pace before suffering a brutal fractured tibia and fibula last season. Now he's fully healthy, and if he returns to form, that defense instantly becomes scarier. And then on the offensive side of the ball, keep an eye on rookie receiver Isaac Tesla. The Lions traded 2 future third-rounders to move up and grab him in round 3. So 2/3 to move up in round 3. And he balled out so much in the preseason that the Lions traded away Tim Patrick just to make room to get him in the starting lineup. That's some serious belief in the kid. I truly believe that. The bottom line for the Lions this season is they're still tough, still talented, but the NFC North is not a cakewalk anymore. I've got them going 12-5, maybe not quite as dominant as last year, but this team is not going away, not by any means. And I think Lions fans would agree.
Well, Brent, all I have to say is Detroit's playoff dreams at Ford Field died just like Eminem in Happy Gilmore 2.
Yes, very true.
It's very true. It's very sad, too. If you haven't seen that movie and I spoiled it for you, that's your fault, by the way. Just saying.
It's been out long enough. It's been out for 2 months.
That's your fault, by the way. No spoilers needed. It's been 2 months. Let's talk about a team that won 14 games and was a wild card team. Sure, that seems right. Talking about the Minnesota Vikings, the last time they won the conference was 1976. Ouch. Division, 2022. They didn't win it in 2025, or 2024, excuse me, despite having 14 wins in a game on Sunday Night Football that took a 15th win just for you both to lose in your openers. Congrats, NFC North. I'm just kidding. Kevin O'Connell wins 14 games last season. He's going into his 4th year at 34-19, still searching for his first playoff win. Obviously losing last year to the LA Rams in the wild card round, who gave the Eagles a scare, by the way, and losing to the 2022 Daniel Jones-led New York Giants. And now he's cold. And now he's cold. Anyways, player to watch. I could sit here and talk about Jay Jettas all day. 103 receptions, 1,533 yards, 10 touchdowns, top 5 fantasy football pick, whatever, right? Can talk about it all. Can talk about Aaron Jones, talk about TJ Hawkinson. Could talk about Jordan Addison, but that's delayed a couple weeks. So check out in a couple. He got suspended, if you didn't get the joke. Let's talk about the kid, right? JJ McCarthy did not play in 2024 because of a torn meniscus. In 2023, he won the national championship with Michigan, 2,900 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 picks, and a 72% completion percentage throwing to Roman Wilson and Colston Loveland. Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, and the greatest offensive line in the Big Ten. Well, we've all known my takes about J.J. McCarthy being a system quarterback. Is that going to be enough in the NFL, right? You have the best weapons around you. You're probably in the best scenario a first-round pick has ever been in. Obviously, rehabbing your meniscus isn't the best position I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that the Vikings have the O-line figured out. They have two of the quickest wide receivers in the NFL. They have a legendary tight end in TJ Hawkinson and Aaron Jones in the backfield. And don't forget about CJ Ham. We love fullbacks around here. We love them. I think J.J. McCarthy's a fraud, but let's see what he has this upcoming season. I did see what Sam Darnold did, so maybe I should hold off on my hot take. Two guys that are definitely wanting to watch, funny enough, Ohio State guard Donovan Jackson will be blocking for a Wolverine. Round 1, 24th overall pick, and a guy that, honestly, in my opinion, should have been top 10. He was a round 1, 24th overall, first-team All-American in 2024, and a three-time first All-Big Ten in the 2022, 2023, and 2024 seasons. And if y'all forget, the Big Ten is just a factory of offensive linemen. Another guy for me to watch a couple days ago got traded back to the Vikings. Going to be helping out with Addison's absence. Hometown hero Adam Thielen. Loved him in Carolina, but this is his swan song. This is his last year in the NFL. 48 receptions, 615 yards, and 5 touchdowns last season, playing in 10 games. I wish all the best to Adam Thielen. Still wish he was on our team, but I miss him already. Their over-under set at 9.5, almost a 5-game swing from last season. I have their floor at 7-10 and their ceiling at 12-5. J.J. McCarthy, they're similar to Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. I hate to say this in your first year that you're actually throwing the football. There is nowhere to hide in this offense. You have everything you could possibly need. Kevin O'Connell is a great coach, and Blake Corum is not here to save you. I'm intrigued to see what the Vikings do. I have them at 9-8 just because of the star-studded talent around them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not see them get 8-9 wins, even if JJ sucks, just because of how good the rest of the roster is. I'm also not a believer in JJ McCarthy for what it's worth, so I'm interested to see what they do this year.
Thanks, buddy. It is 7:38, and we're entering the zone of the NFC East. We'll end with Cowboys-Eagles, but first, the pleasure. It's Braden. Braden, tell me about Jaden Daniels.
Dude, the Commanders, what a year. 12-5. At one point, they were 7-5. They won 5 straight to secure a playoff spot. Those games, they may have played against some subpar quarterbacks. Will Levis, Spencer Rattler, Kenny Pickett, and Michael Penix, but we're not going to talk about that. They made their way to the NFC Championship game where they got throttled by the Eagles. But still, it's a great year for them. First time they won the division since 2020. They won the NFC last in 1991, last time they won the Super Bowl. It was their first 10-win season since 2012. That's RG3's rookie year. So they've been in a drought. It's the first true year, or it was the first true year in the post-Dan Snyder era. Hallelujah for Commanders fans. Scary for the rest of the NFC East. Credit to Josh Harris for going out there, bringing in a new head coach, Dan Quinn, new offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, and defensive coordinator, Joe Witt Jr., and a shiny new quarterback, and finding massive success with this new system in year one. Dan Quinn, I mentioned earlier, the head coach, he's a former Falcons head coach. He finds the conference championship game for the second time in his career. You'll remember the first time. That was the 28-3 game once they lost in the Super Bowl to the Patriots. Guys, this team has some stars. Terry McLaurin ends his holdout. He signs a 3-year deal worth $96 million. And that quarterback, Jaden Daniels, last year he was just absolutely insane. Maybe the best rookie quarterback season we've ever seen. He threw for nearly 3,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And he also ran for nearly 900 yards and 6 touchdowns as well. So he's just been an absolute beast. Guys, another player to watch for me is going to be Mikey Sainristil, cornerback. He was a rookie last year. He had 62 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 2 interception. Guys, he played wide receiver and corner in high school, and he was originally planned to be used as a pass catcher at Michigan. He eventually switched to corner in 2022. So he hasn't been playing the position against top level for very long. He had some great games last year, and he had some not so great games. He does have all the tools to develop into a high-level guy in the cornerback position. His rookie year was mostly encouraging, but he needs to take a step up in year 2 to help shore up this defense. Guys, this team is the oldest team in the league, and they added to it with their offseason signings. They drafted Trey Amos, wide receiver Jalen Lane, and Bill Krosky-Merritt. Those are rookies who can make an impact early on. But in free agency, they signed several veterans such as Javon Kinlaw, Von Miller, Jonathan Jones, Deebo Samuel, and Matt Gay. And also Laramie Tunsil, left tackle. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler for the Texans, and he should be an excellent tool protecting your star quarterback. Their over-under is set at 9.5. They're minus 160 to make the playoffs. Their floor at 6-11, but I think they're going to play well above that. Their ceiling is at 14-3. This team taking a slight step back, going 10-7, and still making a wild card game. Great year 2 for Jaden Daniels.
He's on my fantasy team. He better do everything possible. All right, Brent, deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. The New York Giants. Gone are the days of Daniel Jones, and in are the days of newfound hope. The Giants have drafted their future quarterback in Jackson Dart, and the kid absolutely balled in the preseason, looking like the best rookie quarterback so far this year. Obviously, it's just preseason. We shouldn't put too much stock in it. But Giants fans, myself included, are itching to get out of quarterback purgatory. But until Dart is ready, the Giants will start Russell Wilson. He's obviously past his glory days, but he brings something Daniel Jones never did, and it's the deep ball. Week 2 of the preseason, that was on full display. He launched a 60-yard throw through the air for an 80-yard completion to Bo Collins. With the ability to take the top off the defense, Malik Neighbors could see a ton of explosiveness this year, something that was slightly untapped with Daniel Jones. At running back, Tyrone Tracy still leads the pack, but don't sleep on Cam Scattaboo. The rookie bruiser from Arizona State runs like someone just stole his lunch money and is an absolute weapon in the receiving game. People forget, but he led the FBS in running back receiving yards last year with 605. So he truly is a dual threat. And it might take him a bit of time to eat into Tracy's workload. And obviously, Devin Singletary, he's still on the team. He still factors in. But Scattaboo adds a dynamic element to this offense that they did not have before. Now, the defensive line, this is what gets me the most excited. And it should make a lot of NFL teams very, very scared. They already had Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and the best defensive tackle in all of football, Dexter Lawrence. Now Abdul Carter joins the room. He'll win Defensive Rookie of the Year if he stays healthy. Mark my words, it will happen. And this line could easily be the best in the entire NFL. Expect lots and lots of sacks. This group is going to wreak havoc on teams. They truly are, and I think they will win some games by themselves. And that pressure, it makes life easier for the secondary too. Joe Shane spent this offseason improving a secondary that struggled last year. Paulson Adebo, coming from the Saints, he has 7 interceptions and 28 pass breakups over his last 22 games. And add in Javon Holland, one of the top safeties on the market, and this group looks a whole lot better than it did last year. This defense is not going to be a pushover. I'll tell you that right now. The tough part, the Giants have the hardest schedule in the entire league. They do. But I still expect a better season than last year. I've got them at 8-9, And my bold prediction is I believe they start 3-2 against a schedule that includes the Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers before easing into a matchup with the Saints. So I think they beat the Saints, obviously, and then 2 out of the 4 of the Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Chargers. My bottom line, the Giants are not going to be an easy out this year, and I don't think teams are going to want to play them. And I believe this is a team to watch, and I cannot wait to see them on the field.
I'm a fan of it.
Their defense is going to be scary, dude. I'm telling you right now.
Their over/under being set at 5.5. That is
It's because of the schedule. It's because of the schedule, man. It's brutal.
I'll buy into it, just not financially. Just not financially. Braden, I could probably name all 32 teams in the NFL in 30 seconds or less. You've seen it happen. You've lost money to it, right? So that leaves us with 2. Are they playing anytime soon?
I don't know. I guess there's a game on tonight, maybe.
There might be a weather delay from what I'm seeing. Hopefully not. There's some thunder in the area, is what I've heard.
I don't want to hear that. I'm ready. I've waited so long. I'm ready.
It's fine. It's just Saquon rolling up to the stadium. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, the thunderous Cavs. Yep. I get the pleasure of talking about the Dallas Cowboys, right? So since Braden didn't want to give me the Eagles for some reason, I'll talk about the boys. Oh jeez. Let's go through this. You know, Mike McCarthy's got canned, right? Gone, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it, but that's what we're going to call it, canned. Enter Brian Schottenheimer, right? Oh boy. Let's take a guy that scored 20 points per game and had less than 30 points total in 3 out of 17 games, 30 points or more. Sign me up for that. What are we doing in Dallas? You got your title. All right, let's talk about it. Obviously, first season as a head coach. The Dallas Cowboys have not won a conference championship since 1995, the year the first Wagner brother was born. That same Wagner brother, in 8 days, will be celebrating his 30th birthday. Food for thought. Oh, Jerry. Good old Jerry. You know, things are going okay in Dallas. You know, we're 7-10. We signed our own offensive coordinator that was nowhere in the mix of a head coach job anywhere. What else happened, right? Let me put my finger on it. He's supposed to be playing tonight. Oh, yeah, we dealt Micah Parsons for, you know, maybe some trade value. Sure. We'll talk about it. My 2 guys to watch, it's not Dak Prescott because this will be the last time you see him in a Cowboys uniform this season. So if you're a Dak fan, buckle up. He's getting shipped out or fired or whatever you want to. I don't know what's going on in Jerry's world. For the Cowboys, my 2 guys to watch is these guys are going to have to get some turnovers because of just how terrible things may be on offense. My 2 guys to watch are Trayvon Diggs and Darren Bland. Those 2 guys. Diggs had 42 tackles, 2 picks, and 11 pass deflections last season. Darren Bland had 41 tackles, 0. He played 7 games, but still 0, and 5 pass deflections last season. If you remember, in 2023, Bland had 9 picks, and in 2021, Trayvon Diggs had 11. We need some help. You know it's even worse when you're staring at your players to watch, and we'll talk about Javonte Williams, right? The Denver running back. 139 carries, 513 yards, and 4 touchdowns last season. Not great. But he's our starter. Rico Dowdle ran for 1,000 yards, and we shipped him off to be the running back at the Carolina Panthers. Running back 2, by the way, of the Carolina Panthers, might I add. Then we bring in George Pickens. 59 receptions. Here's your stat. 59 receptions on 103 targets. Is that Russ's fault, or did Pickens drop the ball a lot? The answer is both, by the way. The answer is both.
Hey, shut up.
900 yards still on those 59 receptions and 3 touchdowns in 14 games played. We all know when it comes to Dallas, but wait, there's more. We got some draft picks, and we brought in national superstar, defensive player of the year going into his 700th season, Kenny Clark, the Green Bay Packer defensive tackle, who had 37 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 fumble recoveries last year. No forced fumbles. And 1 sack as a defensive tackle whose job is to sack the quarterback. So, we have CeeDee Lamb. That's exciting. I don't feel good about the Cowboys this year. I think that excites you guys, and neither does Vegas. The Cowboys are set at 7.5 for their over-under. That is the lowest I can think of this team ever being in the last 10 years. My floor for them is 5-12, ceiling at 10-7. They are at plus 270 to make the playoffs. All I have to say is this. All the Cowboys did this offseason was get worse. And it starts at the top. Jerry's world, it's time to figure it out. And I don't know what that is in Dallas. But it's not Dak Prescott, and it's not signing your offensive coordinator. They got 20 points per game. I have them generously, just looking at the schedule, generously going 7-10. Hammer the under. That's my take.
Yeah, I honestly think the Giants will be better than them in the NFC East this year. I truly believe that. Defense is going to struggle. I think the offense will still be good, but I think defense will probably be like bottom 10 in the league for sure. And I did want to say, it's off topic, but a little bit of breaking news. Christian McCaffrey was limited today with a calf injury.
Uh-oh.
And that is something to monitor.
Uh-oh.
Ian Rappaport just tweeted it. It doesn't make me happy and might be concerning.
Yeah.
It's week 1 all over again.
Yep.
Braden, it's all led up to this moment. 7:53, kickoff hopefully in 20 minutes. Take us home with the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, it's banner night. I mentioned it earlier. The champs. I'm going to try to be brief, but I'm going to give the guys their flowers. We won Super Bowl 59 against the Kansas City Chiefs, 40-22. Absolute blowout. They got their revenge. This team, a lot of the guys on this team have been disrespected their entire careers. Jalen Hurts started with him getting benched at Alabama. Devonta Smith, he's too small to be a wide receiver. Nick Sirianni was on a hot seat before the season started. The disrespect just went down the line after that collapse the season before. And we got it done. The Eagles got it done. Nick Sirianni, well done. It's his 5th season, 48-20 so far. We lost Kellen Moore to the Saints. We retained Vic Fangio. Kevin Patullo was hired internally as a new offensive coordinator. That's another new system for Jalen Hurts, something he's had to deal with his entire career. I could go on and on about the stars of this team. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, the entire offensive line, the Georgia boys on defense. But I want to talk about some of the guys that left here real quick. Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. I think we're fine there. We got Moro Ojamo and Jalix Hunt. Remember the names. They started to shine last year, especially during the postseason. They're getting starting roles now. Where I'm a little bit worried, Darius Slay, gone to the Steelers. He leaves a huge hole, as well as C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Texans. Our quarterback, too, has been a battle all training camp, and honestly, it hasn't been a good one. Adoree Jackson is listed as the starter tonight. We traded for Jacorian Bennett from the Raiders and Keely Ringo, one of the Georgia boys. They're all competing for that outside boundary corner spot next to Quinion Mitchell, or on the opposite side of Quinion Mitchell. That I'm concerned about. I'm also concerned about the replacement for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Sidney Brown out in Illinois has shown flashes so far in his career, but he has not shown that he can be a starting guy. And then Andrew Makuba, drafted out of Texas. He also has not risen to the level of C.J. Gardner-Johnson in training camp so far. So those are two positions I'm concerned about. We did draft Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama, to help on the defense. He's been praised by his versatility so far in camp and in preseason by leaders on the defense in Zach Bond and Cooper DeJean. He's listed as a rotational starter with Jeremiah Trotter tonight, and he could see himself play different positions throughout the year. Maybe needs to work on some discipline issues on the field. Had a couple interesting penalties in preseason, but has all the talent in the world. Guys, their over-under set at 11.5. I think that's pretty generous. I think that's pretty fair. It is so hard to repeat in this league. That being said, I have our floor at 8-9 and our ceiling at 15-2. It's a tough schedule. We're in the NFC East. We got to worry about some of these up-and-coming teams like the Giants and the Commanders. And we also, I believe, we play the NFC North as well.
The NFC North and AFC West.
Right. There you go.
Woo!
Thank you. Yeah. We're still minus 360 to make the playoffs. We do some of those opponents I was mentioning earlier. The Chiefs, the Rams, the Bucks, the Broncos, the Packers, the Lions, the Commanders twice, and the Bills are all on the schedule. Those are all losable games. Those are going to be tough matchups. That being said, I still have this team at 12-5. Do we have what it takes to go win back-to-back? I don't know. But we're going to catch a glimpse here in about 20 minutes.
I'm so excited, man.
We're going to catch a glimpse. Braden, if it makes you feel any better, you talk about the difficulty of schedule, right, with the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, at least you know tonight you get a bye week. Thursday night football on NBC. Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia Eagles in Lincoln Financial Field, where the Eagles are 8.5-point favorites as of 30 seconds ago. It's Eagles. It's Cowboys. Do we need to do a pick 'em? We'll do it anyways. Brent, what do we got?
I'm picking the Eagles, and I think it's going to be a blowout, but I'm hoping it's not. I want good football for the first game. Good, solid football. If the rain comes in, maybe it'll level the playing fields. I don't know, but the Eagles all day.
Braden, I'll leave you for last to break the tie. I have the Philadelphia Eagles. Should I have said Cowboys reverse spread? I also have the Philadelphia Eagles. That 8.5 is tasty. Hammer that home all day, every day. If it is rainy and it becomes a running back battle, I want Saquon Barkley with my money on it.
No Javonte? No Javonte? Come on, give him some love.
Guys, I don't know if you saw
513 yards versus 2,000.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, I don't know if you saw this, but Jaden Blue is inactive today. So that running back room with Javonte Williams could be interesting if it does become a running battle like you were saying. I do think the Eagles are going to take it home. I think it might be a little bit closer than it should be, though.
Stop being humble.
It's Cowboys week. It's Cowboys week. Like you said earlier, one of the best rivalries in football. It always gets me nervous. It's always scary. And Dak Prescott is healthy, and his record against the Eagles is pretty darn good. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Just cover CD with your 8 corners.
I will say that is the one thing. Like, obviously, I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Cowboys. I do like Dak. Like, absolutely. And that feels so weird for me to say. I don't think he's like elite by any means. I think he's like above average. But I like him as a person, as a quarterback. I just think he's fun to watch.
I 100% agree. I had this. I really had that realization when they were on Hard Knocks. I was like, dang it, I really like this guy.
Yep, he's hard not to like. He's a likable guy.
We're coming in at 8 o'clock in exactly 90 minutes on the podcast. Braden, I promised we'd get you out of here. But wait, there's one more thing to do. We've had some collaborations, right? We're live on Twitter at @outlet_show. Now live on Instagram at sports_outlet_show. We will be getting a TikTok soon as well. Merch is in process for the Sports Outlet Show too. We'll let you know how you can buy it as well. Ton of things coming from the Sports Outlet Show here. No, we're still all employed. Nowhere near that. But we do have an announcement, and I'm going to stand up for it. I'm going to get this chair out of the way. if you read the ticker below, as soon as I say this, we just love everything y'all have done for the Sports Outlet Show here. Major announcement for season 6 and breaking news is that we are going to go live every Wednesday from here on out at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central for you all in Oklahoma or around the world. We're going to give you every content you need, right? We're going to talk about sports we've never touched on in depth before when we get into hockey season, getting to the postseason of baseball. Who knows, cricket could even make its way onto the Sports Outlet Show if in the dog days of summer, right? But thank you guys for your support. This is a dream of ours to be able to do each and every week, and we appreciate what y'all do. Don't forget about the $50 Amazon gift card. You still have about 30 seconds before we log off to like, comment, subscribe. Brent, Braden, anything else to say to the Sports Outlet Show faithful before we head into Eagles-Cowboys Week 1?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm very thankful for all the comments, all the views, all the listenership, and I am really excited to start doing this weekly, start being on a more consistent schedule, because in all truthfulness, I just love doing this. I love talking about sports, and love hanging out with these guys as well. So excited that football's back. We're less than 20 minutes away, so really excited.
Yeah, same here. Thank you all for watching. I'm super excited, ready for football to start. It's the best time of year. Thank you all behind the scenes that have been helping us out as well. And we are just, like you said, Brent, I'm just so excited to be doing this every week now.
No, completely agree. Appreciate all our fans out there and these boys for putting this together and co-hosting with the three of us here on the Sports Outlet Show. We'll let you get to Thursday Night Football. Like Brent said, enjoy Chris Collinsworth if that's what you want to do. But we have Falcons, we have Cowboys. We'll see you on Wednesday, September 10th, kicking it off with the Sports Outlet Show Weekly. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. Football's back. If you're doing your fantasy draft, I have no idea what you're doing, but we'll see you on Wednesday at the next Sports Outlet Show.